Hello, wanted to give a quick garden update. This is the bed that is showing quite a bit of color for August, and the dahlias are starting to show up. I apologize if there's noise in the background. I'm on a busy street, and also I think one of the neighbors might be having a bit of a party. But here you'll see the dahlias are starting to bloom and come out. This one actually is looking better and bigger. There's a couple of smaller buds on there. And then we've got this smaller dahlia here, and it's showing some more blooms and a bunch of buds as well. And then the zinnias are still doing very well and showing various different blooms on it. I did cut a few off and brought them in, so those are doing very nice. And then this dahlia here, there's one here. I think this is a separate one, but it's got a bud on it. I think, no, that's all part of the other one. So over here, that one is starting to open up, and this one is looking very beautiful and big and will continue to open up. Then we've got the cosmos over here, just looking very beautiful. It's got some blooms. These were a bit of a brighter magenta, and looks like they're fading to a bit of a lighter pink. Looking beautiful though. And then this one's really pretty. I don't know if you can tell, but it's got a little bit of a yellow petal with a pink ring around it. So that's quite pretty. Let's see if hopefully I can capture that in there. I'll put up the name. It's lemon something. Then we've got the sunflowers that are still blooming, even though the main stalk, got damaged in the storm. Let's see what else is blooming. So I've got a lot of these other dahlias, which this one had a lot of damage, but it is putting out a bud over here. And then these ones just keep getting taller every time. But I have not seen any buds form quite yet. So hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'll see those. And the amaranth over here, the rose amaranth is starting to put out a few new flowers. Two little ones hidden back there. And yeah, everything's looking good. I'm hoping that by maybe in a couple of weeks, in September even, I'll see even more dahlias start to show up in this garden bed. And everything is still looking decent. This Veronica is actually not doing so bad after being cut back. I am seeing a few flowers forming here and there. So this one should still continue to put out some color. Vincas are just beautiful and really, really filled in all over the bed. And, I didn't know too much about how the rose campion would behave, but I had continued to deadhead it, and it just keeps on putting flowers. So I'm quite happy with the performance of that plant. This particular Veronica, I did cut back even more than the other one, so I'm not sure that I will actually see more color from that in the fall, but that's okay. It's still doing very well. The crepe myrtles have, lost pretty much all their flowers from the storm, but they put out a flower here or there. But that one's pretty much all done. So these hydrangeas are still looking fabulous. This plant's doing very well this year. The foxgloves, kind of almost done blooming, but shockingly still putting out some very small stalks and a few blooms. Then back here, got some volunteer zinnias that are showing up. So hopefully I will see some blooms. And then the grasses, this one is doing the best. It is the tallest and looking very beautiful. Not sure why. They are looking like in 3 different stages, with this one being the smallest one because they do get the same amount of sun and water. Everything down here unfortunately has not rebloomed. I do sort of see a little small bloom there, but really kind of everything. Oh, actually look, there's a bunch of little blooms here. So this is recuperating for some reason. Whatever was eating it is no longer eating it. And yeah, unfortunately this never came back over here. But the Angelonia and the catmint, salvia, those are doing fine. And of course the sunflowers did take on quite a bit of damage. So, but you know, whatever's left, they are continuing to bloom. Here are the Millennium Alliums, and these are starting to look spent, but still look pretty. Still lots of beads on it as well. And back there, the gladiolas, I think those might be pretty done. And then the lilies did get eaten up. I believe that it was actually bunnies. I had not sprayed though for deers and bunnies. So they ate all the leaves, I think. But I just saw a bunny hopping around a couple days. So I did spray now. And here the Millennium Alliums on this side are doing a little better than the other side, just because these bloom just a little bit later. And it's 6:30 in the evening and I still have bees all over it. Matter of fact, this one I think will be sleeping there for the evening. And then back here we've got the gladiolas, and still showing some color every now and again. Next year I do hope to be able to have a little more color in this bed, and next year I will be moving plants around where I think they might go better. So this bed is doing really nice. The St. John's wort is actually still putting out a few flowers here and there, so that's a nice little pop of color every now and again. Rose campion, similar to the other one, still putting out a few blooms, and so is the dianthus, still pushing out a few blooms every now and again. The echinacea, I'm very happy that I'm starting to see some petals, so not as much damage anymore. Lily turf doing very beautiful. I really like those purple spiky flowers that they're putting out. I just hope they're not invasive. And this Rudbeckia is also doing well. I think I need a few more though, because just this one simple plant, it's looking a little sad just being by itself. And here's the other lily turf, also doing beautifully. Now this echinacea hasn't quite pushed out a ton of new growth, and there is a little bit of damage on this one, but I am starting to see at least more flowers with petals, so it might be getting better. Then the here are the zinnias I had planted, and they are still filling in, but looking great and healthy. Snowcap daisies, I think these won't come back till next year. And then the yarrow that I had cut back is showing more and more buds. A few of them are starting to bloom back out, So I think I will have a little bit of fall color here, which would be beautiful to have next to the grass back here that is putting out some beautiful plumes. I love that. That's going to look great in the fall. This plant is okay, kind of struggling a little bit, but I think it's kind of done. Calendula, this one's doing okay, and I did find some caterpillars on it the other day, so I think they've been eating out the flowers. That's all right, no big deal. And then this is the Spirea shrubs, and you know, they're pretty constant, where they have this little bit of color. It's not necessarily flowers on them, but the little leaves are kind of tinted and have a little bit of a rosy red color. So they do add a little bit of color to the bed, almost as if it were a flower. So I do like that part of these. And here's the Coreopsis, which I'm seeing a bunch of buds on them. So I am hoping that I can actually see some flowers form on this one. And I did spray for deer and rabbit today, so hoping that I can keep those. And then here's the grass from the other side and the plumes forming. So that's looking very pretty. And here are the zinnias on this side, and these are a little taller than the other ones. I did pinch a few back so that I can have them branch out. I think I've lost quite a bit of the cosmos. So there's a few around, but a lot of them did, I think, either get eaten or something. I just don't see them around as much, but the zinnias made it through for sure. And then the meadow sage, the salvia, is looking good, still pushing out brand new leaves. This calendula I did cut back quite a bit, not sure if I will get more flowers. The Gara is actually pushing out some new flowers, so very happy to see that, and just adding that little touch of color into the plant. And then more zinnias. These are looking strong and doing well. So yeah, that's the update on this bed. So here we are at the final garden bed, and the New Guinea impatiens have performed extremely well this season. Just putting on beautiful color with the very hot afternoon sun. The hydrangea has held up very well. It's starting to fade into this maroon color, and that's where the sun hits it. But when you start looking underneath, it's this gorgeous chartreuse, and then you can still see the hints of blue way at the bottom. So I will need to move this probably to a more shaded area, and then I'm assuming I'll keep the color a little longer. But yeah, everything's doing well here. I did cut back the blooms off of the heucheras, and this hydrangea here also will need to move because it gets too much sun, and unfortunately it did get a bit fried, and the blooms are not looking so good. They're not absolutely terrible or anything, but you know, yeah, these little ones are like just very tiny and have shriveled up a bit, but that's okay. We will find it a new home next year. So thank you for joining me and for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.